We've got 5 minutes left in quali, and how will Honza do? Honza goes quickest, not by much, with a 108.957. Nearly a tenth quicker than the championship leader, Firestriker. Can anyone get faster than that? That is the fastest time we've seen so far today. The other driver out on track is Lika and Madav. Madav on an out lap. Lika probably on an in lap. I'm not too sure. I would be pitting. I would. But let's see how he does. Does he come into the pit lane? Nope, he starts a lap. So, unless he's finishing a lap, which he didn't, but I think Lika is now starting up a lap. 4 minutes to go. Madav starts a lap. Tix comes out of the pit lane, so he has rejoined. But to just tell everyone, Sousa, the Red Bull is Sousa. He just changed his EA name to Honza, but we will be calling him Honza to avoid confusion for some people. Lika rounds turn 6 and 7 quite nicely there. Gets the car stopped nicely at turn 8, and then the long left-hander of turn 9 up a little hill towards turn 10, and then eventually 11. He's got a Sauber on the right-hand side of the road to try and not hit, but he's right out of the way. So that's no confusion for the Williams driver chasing down Firestrike in the championship. How will his lap be? It seems a bit slow so far. No, he backs off. I don't know why he backed off there. In the end, I don't know. That's a bit confusing. But anyways, Tix starts his lap. He's trying to find 1.5 tenths to get provisional pole here in Brazil, the 9th race of the season. It's his first race of the season. Rennick, it's his first race of the season as well, and so is Pigs. Pigs and Tix running the Max Verstappen Japan helmet. It's going through quite nicely for Tix at the moment as he rounds turn 11 to end the middle sector. How is his middle sector? He is so close. I would imagine he's on the limit though, and he has his foot pinned to the floor for the final run to the line. How will Tix's lap be? He doesn't improve. He will have to go again. He will have to recharge the battery. Firestriker goes out on track. Honza, as you can see by the map, he is moving, so he's just coming out the pit lane now. Williams goes into the pits, and that is Lika. Lika's done for qualifying. Lika is provisional P5, which is not a great start, but he has got great race pace. So let's see how he'll do for the rest of the race tomorrow. And I think Madav had a moment. He has invalidated, so he'll have to be quick to get to the... No, he's on low fuel, so Madav is starting P7 today. Pigs, his lap is invalidated. Hopefully he'll be able to start one now. Rennick, I believe, is on a lap. Tix has invalidated. Firestrike and Honza on an out lap. This is very tight for quite a few of these drivers. Pig starts the lap now. How will his lap be? He doesn't invalidate. He was close to, though. But he uses all the road on the right-hand side, gets through the center S nicely, runs down to turn 4. He's 1/10 up on his sector 1. He's trying to find a second here to Honza. Now you got to believe, Lika. You got to believe. Keep trying. Well, I'm 39 points behind James in the championship in Tier 1 with 1 race to go, but I'm still going to try. That's not the point right now. The point is these drivers. Rennick, he doesn't improve his time. Rennick is P4 at the moment. How fast will Pigs go? He's going quicker, but will it be enough to get to a higher position? He's using all the battery for the end of the session. Pigs improves his lap and he goes up into P5. The final 4 positions are set. The top 3 are not set though. Tix rounding the corners. Fire Striker will end his lap. Fire Striker cannot get pole here in Brazil. How will Tix go? Tix crosses the line and he can't steal pole off of Honza. Honza is on pole here in Brazil. And how about that for Honza? The first race of the season, he was well off the pace. And he comes back into the 9th race of the season and he grabs pole just like that. Well done to Honza. Honza on pole. Fire Striker less than a 10th behind him in P3. This will be a great race. Depends on how the race pace is for these drivers. Let's see how it will go. Let the battles and chaos begin here in Brazil. It's lights out and away we go. Who gets a better launch out of these drivers? It's Honza, and it was a bit squirmy off the line for Tix. Honza leads into turn 1, but there's chaos between an Alpine and a Williams, which is Lica and Rennick. And Tix goes around the outside and takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix on the way down to turn 4. Defending his position, can Honza go down the inside? He won't be able to. Fire Striker defending his position from Rennick. And Lica's ahead of Fire Striker. It's a bad start for Fire Striker. Great start for Lica. And down the inside goes Lica, and Lica's up into P3. Already in this race, Fire Striker goes down the order and goes into the back of Lica. Fire Striker's behind Lica. Lica 6th to 3rd. But Fire Striker argues the case and he retakes a position from Lica. But Lica wants to make a fight out of this. Lica up 2 positions from the start. Can he get past the Ferrari driver once again? They're going side by side, wheel to wheel, down the straight to end lap 1. What a start here in Brazil. Lica in P3. Tix leads the first lap of the race. Fire Striker down the inside, but Lica is trying to hold on to it. Lica stays ahead of Fire Striker. But I don't think the battle will be done just yet. Fire Striker will have a look on the inside. The left-hand side of the road belongs to Fire Striker, and he goes down the inside. And a bit off the road goes Lica, but Lica holds the position of Fire Striker. And that is crucial for the championship early in the race. Fire Striker actually got the position back from Lica. Now Fire Striker will be having to defend from Lica. The championship rivals back at it again to start lap 3. Where will Lica go? Lica will go down the inside, but I think it's a bit too early. Big slide from Fire Striker, and that causes Lica to go past the Ferrari. And Rennick goes past Pigs, but Pigs wants to get it back down the straight into turn 4. Who was going to be brave down here? They make a bit of contact into the corner, but Pigs up into P5. Rennick down to P6. He's lost 2 positions at the start of the Grand Prix. And I had a look on the inside, causing a bit of contact to Pigs. Madav, more than a second, he must have had a moment. DRS will be activated here for Honza. He goes down the straight. Which way does he go? He goes to the right-hand side of the road, Tix on the left, and Honza takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Further back is Lica and Fire Striker. They won't be able to make a move into the top 2 of the race. But how about Tix? He is right behind Honza. Honza's wanting to defend the left-hand side of the road into turn 4, and he denies Tix from going past, but Tix goes off the road, and Lica goes past up into P2. It's a dream start for Lica. He started P6. He is now up into P2. Trying to open up the gap a bit more. Tix is back under a second behind Lika, but I think he had a squirm. Oh, he's off the road and hits the wall. Tex goes off and hits the wall and goes down the order, down into P6 with that 3-second time penalty. And that is not ideal for the driver making his debut this season. And he's hunting down the championship leader on his debut. He's got the DRS. Will he be able to go for a move into turn 1? Let's ride on board with him as he goes past the Ferrari driver and up into P3. But Firestriker tries to keep it on the inside, but he can't. 10-second time penalty for Tex for speeding in the pit lane. That puts him to 13 seconds now of penalties, and that's not ideal for the driver making his debut this season. He doesn't change in his front wing, so it seems like he didn't get any damage for hitting the wall then. So that was quite a crazy bit here, but Firestriker and Pigs were going side by side, and Firestriker got back the lead. Got back third, here in Brazil. And he'll be wanting to close the gap now. He retires. Tex retires and he gives up from the Brazilian Grand Prix. His debut has not gone how he wanted it to go. Look how close Firestriker is to the back of Lika. He might go for a move into turn 1 here. The gap is just opening a bit now, but he will have the DRS. He puts on overtake mode. Lika, he is saving up his energy, and the championship leader goes past Lika, but Lika sends it, and he somehow gets past Firestriker. Back up into second in the track. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings goes to Rennick, and Firestriker tries to get back second place, but can't quite do so. Pigs just watching this battle unfold. And Lika has a big moment and goes off the track. And that is not ideal for the driver trying to close 2 points in the championship to Firestriker. He'll be trying to close that gap now. Pigs less than 6/10 behind Firestriker. Let's ride on board with him. He loses it under brakes. Big moment for Pigs. And that puts him further down the order now. Down into P4. That's not ideal for the debut driver. Madav comes into the pit lane for his first stop of the race here on lap 10. Let's see how the pit stop will go. He doesn't change the front wing, so it's not a damage-related issue. He puts on the hard tyre, I believe that is. Yes, it is. What a crazy start to the ninth race of the season. Into the pit lane comes the Alpine, the first pit stop of his career here in Tier 3. How will this pit stop go? What tyre does he put on? He puts on the hard tyre, it seems like, from here. And yeah, it is. So he comes out the pit lane with a 3-second time penalty and a hard tyre compound. And he goes down the straight, but will Pigs have a chance here into turn 1? Does Lika go on the pits? No, he doesn't. He defends his position, but there's nothing he can do with the Aston Martin flying by with DRS here on lap 12. 2,000 Pigs up into P3, and he'll be wanting to hunt down the championship leader, Firestriker. 2,000 Pigs making a name for himself here in JP Racing League. But Lika wants to make a fight out of this. He can't find a way past the Aston Martin. And he was quite slow. They make contact, and Lika barges Pigs out of the way. And I don't think Pigs will be happy about that one. What on earth happened there? Lika, I think it would be wise to give the position back to Pigs. It doesn't seem like he is. Lika had a slide, and maybe he is letting by Pigs without losing much time, and he does. So Pigs is back past Lika. The top two in the race comes into the pit lane, and now 2000 Pigs on debut leads the race. Fire Striker comes into the pit lane. Honza, the race leader, also does, and he puts on the hard tyre. Fire Striker on the hard tyre. Everyone on the hard tyre apart from Lika and 2000 Pigs. And the top two in the race comes into the pit lane. Pigs comes into the pit lane. Lika goes into the pit lane. And Lika gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And it seems like it's going to be the Netherlands all over again. And Fire Striker wanting to defend the position to Rennick. Rennick goes to the left-hand side of the road and takes P2 in the race. But Fire Striker is wanting to hold on to it. They make a bit more contact. But he gets P2 on debut. Lika closes the gap to 2000 Pigs. And he goes down the inside. And he spins round Pigs. Both go off the track. And I think Lika let Pigs go back past. They are having a fight to the death here with 10 and a half laps to go. Fire Striker has the DRS. He's 4 tenths behind the rookie driver of Rennick. He's not driving like a rookie today. Fire Striker goes down the inside. And can he finally get to second place? No, he can't. 2000 Pigs sets the fastest lap of the race here on lap 17. Can Fire Striker finally get past the Alpine? Both don't have the DRS, so they'll probably even on the detection point. Fire Striker still cannot get past Rennick. So if he cannot afford a mistake, Honza. He cannot afford one. Oh, Fire Striker sends it on the inside. And he gets a move done. But he'll be vulnerable into turn 1, however. Because he will have the DRS, the Alpine driver, not driving like a rookie today. I think he had a bit of a slide out of turn 12. 5 tenths separates them. Will Rennick be able to get past Fire Striker? He goes to the right-hand side of the road. And they're going side by side through turn 1, turn 2, and he gets back second place on the road. What a race this is. And they're still making contact. They're still having a fight to the death down into turn 4. Fire Striker's ahead of the Alpine driver. This is an outstanding battle. Pigs has the DRS. He doesn't have much battery at all, but he goes to the left-hand side of the road, and he goes down the inside, and he barges him out of the way, and takes P3 here in Brazil. Oh, I think there's a battle between Fire Striker, Rennick, and Pigs, and Rennick goes off the road. And I see an end plate gone off of his car, so he must have hit the wall. I saw on the map they were going side by side, and then the Alpine just fell back quite quickly. So he must have hit the wall there, and he goes so wide off the road. So it seems like that's race over, and P4 for Rennick. Into the pit lane comes Rennick. And he gives up his P4 to Lika. That helps Lika in the championship just a bit more now as he changes his front wing and goes down to P5. He will be ahead of Madav. But I think it'll be a battle between them. Maybe it's just a bit too far back to actually see a battle between these two, as it's been such a long time since we've seen Madav in a battle. We shall all stand up and applaud Honza. His name was Sousa in Australia, changed his name to Honza. 8 weeks later, he has dominated here in Brazil. Honza crosses the line and wins in Brazil. We haven't seen him all day today because he has dominated this incredible Brazilian Grand Prix. Fire Striker, let's see how much he opens the gap in the championship. So we'll see the extra points awarded to him. And 2000 Pigs on debut gets a podium. And what a hard-fought race it was for him today. 8 weeks later, he comes back and dominates. In Australia, he struggled so much. He had so many moments. He was completely off the pace. But 8 weeks later, 8 races later, he comes back and dominates here in Brazil. Welcome back, Honza. Awesome drive and very clean drive for Honza. He grabs the win here in Brazil. And how about that? Lika gets drive of the day. That's an extra 5 points to him. So let's wait until the championship will be what's the word? Updated. And I think cleanest driver I will give to Honza, because he was literally nowhere to be seen. As soon as the lights went out, he just bolted.